This was a real kind of like pivot, tonally. But I also thought one of the great moments, because chemistry, this was like reminded you of like Bacall and Bogart, and like they got up there, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, which is
The Fall Guy.
Oppenheimer versus Barbie.
Oh, well, which is upcoming in the same movie.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So they got up and sort of had the fun repertoire of like, hey, let's squash this beef. And it was really funny.
It was hysterical.
It was like a fake fight.
Yeah,
and
it was a fake bit where they were just like, and Ryan, of course, was like really doing it up.
Committed.
But Emily was like right there. She was, in the bit, making the joke, and,
they just had a good,
fake fight.
like I said, repertoire. It was the chemistry was, like if they have not,
Rapport, do you mean?
Rapport, thank you.
Sure.
I was thinking Michael Rappaport. No, just kidding. So I think...
Or repertory theater, perhaps.
Repertoire theater. I think if they haven't been in a movie together, maybe I'm not aware
You're
of it.
saying coming up.
Yeah, that's
What?
This huge movie that's coming up, The Fall Guy, with those two.
Really?
Yeah, and
it's not based on the TV series.
I don't know, but Steven Spielberg has already said it was great. So there you go.
Okay. Well, that's why their chemistry was so natural. So I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to announce, or there's a now category for stunts. Because they did this whole thing for stunts. No, they were just sort of acknowledging the stunt, industry for all they do.
All
for
their contributions.
Film magic.
Yeah.
I was excited as you started to say this. I'm like, oh, that would be a great category. On-screen chemistry.
That's at the MTV Awards, Eddie.
That, definitely.
I know.
Or
I'd
the
still
People's
take it in
Choice
this.
Awards. That would
Yeah,
be,
exactly. So no. So then they actually didn't do an award. They just got up there and were like, stunts are awesome. Watch this montage. So it was still worth it
Which
because
was
it's
a
very
good
fun.
montage. You're like, yeah, stunts are crazy. Because they did a lot of the sort of behind the scenes of stunts, which is a great way to
show
like
the
really
green-
show. Yeah.
They'd show the green screen or the CGI or
the guy on a wire behind the guy, like it was good.
Yeah. It was funny. One of the things they did was the famous Jason Bourne where Matt Damon like jumps from one window down to another. And my husband goes, I've always wondered how they did that.
Yeah.
And they showed. So I was like, well, there you go.
I don't mean to make a non sequitur in this, but Liz, do you remember going to Universal Studios and doing the whole behind the scenes tour and doing like the green screen? Did you do the 2001?
All right, you guys. One of my earlier acting experiences. And obviously Universal recognized the talent in the audience. So when you go
we need her.
So when you go on the Universal tour, they would stop and get you off, and you'd go watch a show as part of it, or as part of your day. And there's all the lore of the Universal lot. We were on a writing group on the Universal lot, but there's the famous like Steven Spielberg just jumped off and went into a bungalow and like discovered, or I don't know who did that, but there's the back lot's really cool. So they have this show where they had a big early on screen. I don't even know if it was green screen at that point, Eddie. Maybe early.
It might not have been green
We
screen.
don't want to
at that point.
date
I
ourselves.
can't remember.
It was a blue screen.
But for sure, like the ET bike ride, that was blue screen, where you were like riding the bike and then
Oh,
they
gosh.
composited you over like San Fernando Valley.
So it's like hundreds of people in the audience, and they have to pick out people to participate and show the magic of filmmaking with this new technology. And they picked me,
Of
Stars
course.
Born. Of course, they want some girl from like Oklahoma, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, San Fernando Valley, Woodland Hills, available for
Here.
booking currently. I have my SAG card. They're like, "Oh my God, get her off the stage!"
Here's my 8x10.
It's a plant.
Is
Get
this
her
a
out of
day
here.
rate? Is this a day rate? Then they just put you through scenes and think someone else did something, and it's like a family. Ed, that was like Inside Out, long-term drop memory. You just brought it back up into the frontal lobe, and my head exploded. I'm like, all the greatness was there, and I just didn't grab it. I didn't. Is there an agent in the audience? Is there a manager?
You might still be floating out in space, if not.
Ed, find it. You probably could buy a tape of it. Like, here's your VHS.
Yeah,
after
no, they keep that forever.
Well, Ed, Mom for sure would have kept that forever. John, you know it.
It's in the Universal Archives.
You
obviously.
know it is. But secondly, there's no way our family was like way too cheap to ever.
Oh, no.
There's
No,
no
well,
way.
We don't need that.
I don't think it was the same trip, but there was a cousin visit where we did actually buy the music video of
Yes.
us doing
Oh, yeah.
Paula Abdul's, which one
Straight
is
up now, love me.
it? Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I have a vague memory of that one too. That one I've
going on in that video.
a lot of braces, a lot of puberty on screen. So I wish we didn't buy that tape. So so Universal. I don't even know where we were going with this, Ed. Why'd you bring up
Why
Universal?
did you even bring that
Stunts.
up? Stunts. It was stunts. That's
Stunts,
why.
green
So they're
screen.
showing green screens. I was one of the early inventors of it, basically. Innovators.
Innovators?
that's how that
I
works.
don't think that's true.
Yeah, that seems like not true.